to allow engine cooling?
Well, I sent Robin Pemberton a text on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week just to, we were trying to get a plan put together of what we were going to do here. Phoenix is a tough track to take the tape off and be able to stay out of the way, especially turn one. There's not really an apron to get out of the way. But we knew here the track's fairly wide and you'd be able to cool the cars down. From my perspective, I kind of thought it was a no-brainer just to let us cool the engines down. I know that there's a reason they're not letting us do that, but he said let's give it a couple weeks and just see what plays out. I don't know that they had people come to him and say that they didn't want to use cool down units, because everyone I talked to felt fairly adamant that would be a good change. But I think they're just wanting to let it play out, especially we haven't done a mile and a half yet to see kind of how it works. This is another really good track for this qualifying procedure, because you can go quicker on your second run if you make the car better. There's going to be some tracks come up that you can't, but like Phoenix last week and here, scuffed tires actually are as good, if not better, than sticker tires are. So I think you'll see that today where if guys don't make it in the first time, if they can get their car cooled off enough that you could go quicker the second time out. It's just that tape is so critical here, and if you have to take tape off to keep the car cool enough, you're not going to go faster. I think it would be more exciting if we could have the full tape every time, so that you guaranteed a chance of trying to knock somebody out.
Any other questions for Jamie? Okay, back here with Holly behind. Then we'll come back to Lewis.
Jamie, could you talk a little bit about what you expect in terms of this package on this track and how much you're going to put into how the racing goes down today? Are you still in a wait-and-see mode, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the racing to be dramatically different, and it's really hard to evaluate it right now, because in the testing that we did yesterday and a little bit of practice we had this morning, everyone's on good tires, and if your car doesn't handle good, you just pull in and work on it. So you never really get a chance to catch anyone. I was a little shocked that in testing yesterday that really the bottom of the racetrack was the preferred line. And normally it's that way here until it rubbers up a little bit, and then you see guys starting to move up, especially in 1 and 2, to get around the bumps. But yesterday we didn't see that. It seemed like all the guys that were quick could stay right on the bottom, and you could do that for 15 or 20 laps in a row, which was somewhat unique. So I think until we get into tomorrow where it warms up and you have guys that stay out and a group of guys that stay out and run 15 or 20 laps at a time, it'd be hard to really give any type of an evaluation of what we're going to have.
Okay, back to Lewis, please.
Jamie, I didn't get a chance to ask you this during the media tour, but considering the year that you won the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard, so just your feelings on the chase rules now and how that helped, that would have helped you.
That would have been great in 2010 for sure. Well, I think that my take is that it will be more exciting to watch. I think it's great that if you win a race that you kind of punch your ticket and you're guaranteed into the chase. From a general fan's perspective, I think that if you win, you should be in the chase. So I like it. It's going to be interesting when they start knocking people out after 3 races, especially if you have somebody that dominated the first part of the season and they don't make it through. And it's going to be interesting to go to the last race and have somebody that's going to win the championship based on just that race. But it's different. And when we went from running every single week to having a 10-race playoff format, no one liked that, and I think it turned out to be really good. So I think it's tough to give an opinion until you kind of see how it plays out.
Okay, over here with Reed, please.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Jamie, for you as a driver, under this new format, when does a sense of urgency really start to set in if you don't have a win? Is it now? Is it halfway through? Is it with a few races left?
Well, I think that all depends on where you are in points, because there's going to be people that make the chase that haven't won a race. Clint Boyer kind of comes to mind last year. I think he was second or third in points when we got to Richmond, and he hadn't won a race yet. So there's going to be some people that make it in, but I don't know. When we get down to the 2 or 3 races leading into Richmond, guys that know they have no chance of making it in on points, or yeah, I mean, it might even be 10 guys that don't have a chance of making it in on points. If they win a race to be guaranteed in, I think you'll see it fire up at that point.
One question over here, please.
Jamie Allen Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. Good afternoon. I'd like to hear your reviews about the new qualifying procedure here with NASCAR in the Sprint Cup Series, sir.
Yeah, I am. I won't lie. I'm a little bit nervous about the qualifying today. It's so much different than just trying to get the best setup in the car and go out and run that one lap all by yourself, and you're going to get clean air. There's so many more factors now where someone could pull out in front of you, or if the people are cooling down their engines, could get in your way and mess your lap up. I think most of the teams approach qualifying the same way, and we were fourth in practice, so we feel really confident that unless something goes wrong, you're going to make the first segment. So we're not panicked to get out initially, but if someone gets in your way and messes that lap up, then it creates panic. So yeah, there's a lot of unknowns, and I think until we do this a few times and you understand it better, it's a little nerve-wracking, which I think is good, because qualifying, the excitement of qualifying before was when you would come somewhere like this was how much throttle you could use, and it was exciting to run that fast just one lap. But now there's so much strategy in it, and if you make it through the adjustments you make to your car, because it's going to drive different on hot old tires versus what it does on new tires. So yeah, it's definitely, it has all the teams trying to figure out what the next trick will be.